Welcome, Judy, to the Listening Bee. You've worked with people from all over the world, not through therapy and not through inquiry, but through something deeper, which is freedom from the mind's lies. So I'm so excited to welcome you here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm really curious. You help a lot of people break free from their suffering and from the traumas and deal with what they've been through and what they are going through. What's the hardest thing you've ever been through?
Well, I've been through crap like everybody else. I mean, I spent most of my life until my 50s, maybe mid to late 50s, because I'm old, depressed, and suicidal. So, when people suffer, it's not like I can't relate. Also, I'm noticing as I'm getting older that anxiety is showing up periodically for no reason at all. And so, I'm a human like everybody else, and I have the same reactions that everybody else has. I'm very lucky that I have some ways to deal with things. I mean, and I've been through like everybody else, situations in life because I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are, how perfectly you set things up, how hard you work, how positive thinking you are. Life says, how about a death here? How about sickness? How about losing your job? How about losing a child? How about having a car accident? I mean, life, no matter what you do, life throws you curveballs because that's what it is to be alive on this planet. And it doesn't even matter if you're human, it does it for every creature here.
Yeah, and even if you're an amazing person, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why, I was thinking earlier about you had texted me or written me and had some thoughts about why you wanted to do this. All the emphasis that all of us have and all of us grow up with and is surrounding us all the time is about how you can make yourself better so that you can control situations so that they'll never bring you crap.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter how perfect you are. You're still going to go through hard times, things you don't want. And the thing is that what happens is that the mind blames you. Look what you did. Look what you didn't do. This is your fault. How could you have prevented it? And the thing is that there's a certain amount of things that happen in life that have nothing to do with you and that just happen as if it's your turn.
Yeah.
So that alone can be kind of liberating
Yeah.
because all the focus on what did I do? How did I make this happen? My boyfriend leaves me. What did I do? What didn't I do? Was I not enough? Maybe it has nothing to do with you. But I think that the more we as humans make things personal, this is about me and what I did or didn't do and what's wrong with me and how I'm not enough. The more we make it about me, the worse we're going to feel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as an example, for me, as when I was really little, my folks divorced, and like so many children of divorce, this is a common thing. I didn't even think about it much, but there was a way that I thought, what did I do? How is this my fault?
Mhm.
I was 3, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? And to watch a child try and make sense of things, the way they usually make sense of things is to figure out what they did wrong and how they're not enough. That's how the brain works. And children are busy at it before they're 5.
Right.
And so, looking back at my life as an example, you can see why I might have been depressed
Mhm.
because from age 3, I thought everything was my fault.
It sounds like so from what I gather and from what I've experienced and what you've experienced, we tend to blame ourselves when something
Right.
goes wrong in our lives. So, what's one way we can stop spending time inside of our story of pain and start living outside of it and realize it's not us?
It's very difficult to do on your own. Not impossible, but difficult. I'm going to answer you in a second.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that the mind tells you, thought tells you this is your fault. You weren't enough in some way. And we believe it. We think it's right. So to say to yourself, I'm not going to blame myself, you can try that, but it's not going to work. One thing that people can do is to try to get a little, as best they can. This is not easy to do outside you.
Hmm.
Take a bigger perspective that is outside you. So for instance, go to the moon. And even more than going to the, obviously in your mind,
Yeah.
go to the moon, and whether you right, gonna get to my spaceship and take a trip. It's best if you can go to the moon and become the moon. But if you can't do that, then at least be you on the moon and look back and watch that person that you call you in a situation and see if the moon agrees that it's your fault. So that you're just getting a little outside the brain, which is look what you did. So you get a little space mentally. The other thing you could do is put it on movie screen. You be in the audience and watch the movie. So there's you messing up or not being good enough or failing a test or losing a boyfriend or whatever it is, not getting the job. You're also the one in the audience watching. So watch her or him on the screen. Does the person in the audience think that was the character's fault?
No, we feel bad.
You feel sympathetic, you feel compassionate. And then if you also ask yourself, I mean, this is getting a little more than your question, but while you're at it, if you, while you're watching the movie in the dark with the feet sticking to the ground like sticky in the movie theaters and all that, and smelling the popcorn, and there's the movie. So you're in the audience and you're in the dark and you're watching a movie. There's a character named Beatrice or a character named Judy on the screen. You're watching the situation that's got you upset, but you're watching. Is she you or are you the one watching?
Right.
Okay. And then question two is the one watching, is it the watcher's fault what's happening on the screen?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay. Do you notice a feeling when I'm asking you these questions?
You separate yourself from your emotions and your actions.
And all of this, the machine that runs, right? And the machine that runs on its own agenda. And it doesn't care if it's reasonable or not. So it says, this is my fault. I lost the boyfriend because of blah, blah. And I failed the test because I didn't study hard enough. But it's true. I didn't study hard enough. And there's all this personal stuff going on, not being my best. So as you put it on the movie screen, you begin to see that that person on the screen may not be you.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but the person going through the motions and going through the situation, because again, the more personally we take things, the worse we're going to feel. And it's difficult to take it personally when that person on the screen is obviously playing out a script.
Yeah.
It's a movie. I mean, is it my fault the script was written like this?
No.
So the more distance we can get from this sense of who we are, because it's so strong and it's usually wrong, but you can't convince people of that. It's so strong that it won't even go there. It says, no, 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 no. Of course that's me.
I totally get what you're saying. Like, we blame ourselves, so then we try to fix ourselves and we drain our energy on fixing something that's not ours to fix.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's depressing because it starts to feel hopeless and it starts to feel like inherently just basic. It's in your skin, it's in your bones. You are broken and you need fixing. And the funny thing is, like, when you really think about it reasonably, the thing that needs fixing is supposed to be fixed by the thing that's broken.
Yeah.
You are supposed to fix you. What? You're the thing that's broken. How is the thing that's broken? So, if this is broken, it can't fix itself.
Yeah.
So there's it just logically, we're a little confused humans. We're just a little mixed up. Because even if this was conscious and able to see that it was itself broken, it doesn't have the ability to fix itself.
Right.
Neither do we.
No. So then I'm curious, what's the difference between fixing yourself and growing and like learning new things and gathering different opinions?
Gathering different opinions is a question of an open mind.
Mhm.
Not many of us have one.
Right.
Learning new things, especially at your age. If I said to you, stop learning, would you be able to?
No way.
It's really just not even possible. You don't have to work that darn hard. You wake up in the morning and you have an urge to know about something. It's what sends us to most of us to social media. We want to know what's going on in whatever world is happening. There's instantly learning happening. Try and shut that off. Good luck. So it's possible that, I realize who I'm talking to here, but it's possible that you don't have to push so hard because learning is automatic and natural and very hard to turn off. I think what you might be talking about, though, when you talk about learning is pushing yourself to read or study or work, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, nothing I say is going to get you or any of the people that are listening to stop pushing. So push at the point that you become exhausted or depressed or anxious, you might not try so hard because you're still going to learn.
Yeah.
It's still good, but it might not come with all of that pressure to be better and to be perfect and to be right and to be good. It's all exhausting.
Yeah. How do you step back from the need to push so much?
You can't when you're doing okay.
Mm.
At the point that you're not doing okay, it's a way to find a little relief, permission to step back.
Yeah.
Because right now, on a good day, you don't give yourself permission to step back. When you're doing adequately, you're not going to go there. When you're in trouble, you can give that to you
Mhm.
for some relief because otherwise you're going to make yourself sick one way or another.
Right.
And by sick, I mean not just physically, but maybe
Right.
depression or anxiety, or, some people call it lack of motivation. And, I can't make myself get up and get out and be with people. It's just they're exhausted from pushing. So
Yeah.
I would say that for somebody like you who does push a lot, but you're fine, maybe you don't even have to stop pushing.
Yeah.
Push.
Right. But what you said, whenever you push too hard and you get exhausted and then you're like in bed and you don't want to get up, how do you get out of that rut?
I would answer that in a way that is unusual for people, I think.
Sure.
And many people will be afraid of my answer. I would say try and stay in bed. See how long it lasts, especially when you're your age.
Get it. Yeah, because it's
It's
like,
not going to last very long.
no, because, and it's the same idea as, you really, really want something or you really, really want, chocolate. And the, the thing that's making you resist taking it is what's making you want it so much. And then when you just let yourself have it,
Have the damn chocolate.
yeah,
Stay in bed. See if you can. And where I say that people will say, oh no, then I'll never get out of bed. Honey, that's not possible. You're not going to pee in bed. You're going to get out of bed.
yeah,
And at some point, you're going to get hungry. At some point, you're going to get bored. What I think people mean by that is, how do I make myself get up and go to school? How do I make myself get up and
yeah,
the thing is that the pushing has put you there in the first place. So stay in bed for as long as you can, see how long it lasts. And when you get up, watch your feet. Where are they walking?
mm,
Are they walking to school? Are they walking to the living room? Maybe you can trust that a little downtime is okay. I know that for people who are really used to pushing, that gets scary. What if I never do my homework? What if I never get the job? And so they never try what I'm suggesting and they never find out. They're afraid to try this. And that is the mind lying to you.
yeah.
Don't do that, then you'll fail. You'll be a failure at life and you'll never get out of bed. They never find out if that's true or not.
Right. It's powerful. I love that. And it's so interesting to think about because we're so used to forcing ourselves to do things, not just relaxing into it. Because we're afraid, and our mind makes us afraid of what happens if we just let go
Right.
and listen to that.
Well, and what happens is that the mind uses that opportunity to tell you that if you don't, bad things are going to happen. And not only will they happen, you'll fail, you'll never get into college, you'll never get a job, nobody will love you, you'll never get better, improve, blah, blah, blah. That's what the mind tells you.
Yeah.
And then it also adds, just for the fun of it, and that'll be your fault. So all of that, not surprisingly, is paralyzing. So conveniently, all the things that it tells you keep you in bed. It says, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. But it doesn't really want you to get up because that's not the way to get up.
Yeah.
So, what we're really talking about here is trying a game to see what the mind does when you give yourself permission to be human and not push
Yeah.
because it doesn't really quite know what to do.
No, it doesn't. It's just trying to control you from the outside.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Follow-up question on that. How do we shape our environments to help us kind of go with the flow more and, follow what we think we're afraid of and afraid to do? But how do we shape our environments in a way that allows us to do it comfortably?
So, by environment, do you mean other people?
I mean, other people, I mean the space around you, clutter or, yeah, things that
Okay.
impact us.
Are you on TikTok?
No.
So there's a woman on TikTok who has made, by her own need, apparently, a whole series and a name for herself called How Long Does It Really Take? Where she has set herself, she did this for the cat for herself. She set up a camera and said, "This is where I find out how long it really takes me to do something I've been procrastinating for. I've been procrastinating not cleaning the garage for 2 years. How long does it really take to?" And so the camera and this TikTok, which again, she's become this is what she's known for at this point, because she does it in her pajamas and sunglasses too while she's doing it.
That's awesome.
So she's put off doing the garage for 2 years. It took her 45 minutes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How long did it take me to clean the stove? 10 minutes. I've been putting this off for 6 months, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, giving you the background, I lost the question. Oh,
No,
environments.
that
You can make games for yourself with something, let's say like clutter or whatever. You can also notice how it feels as opposed to I must declutter, I must clean up. I'm just going with your example. I
right.
know that
Or
you
do
mean other
homework
things.
or yeah.
Right. I need to do this. The more that comes at you, the less able you are
Right.
to get up and going.
It's less fun, it's less exciting.
It's paralyzing. It's
Yeah.
true. Again, not coincidentally, the more the mind pushes, the less the mind does, the
Yeah.
less you are able to do. It does it on purpose. And in fact, seeing that if thought says to you, get up, do your homework. Why aren't you doing your homework? Do your homework. What's Jesus? Do your homework. Seeing that the more it pushes, the less you get up and do it. Actually, just seeing that changes things. Seeing that it's pushing in order to make sure you don't do it. It says, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And then the more it says do it, the less you actually do it.
Yeah.
That's its ultimate goal for you to just sit there.
Right. And then
So
realize it.
seeing it, yes,
Okay.
is it's kind of like, am I going to be played for a fool?
Yeah.
Does like
I see.
the other thing is, there are some things where I'm gonna get nowhere right now, and you and your listeners are gonna get nowhere right now, giving your self permission to not do something. So, for instance, if I say to you, give yourself permission to not do your homework, that's not gonna fly. You're not gonna do it. The mind is going to say, you can't do that.
Mhm.
It's not gonna work. But you can do it for little things, like at the moment, decluttering. On the scale of important things to you, how important is decluttering right now? Now, if you are in a hoarder situation, that's another story. But again, you and your friends and your listeners, you guys aren't in hoarder situations. The other thing is, I'm thinking of when I paint, when I'm in the middle of an actual painting where I'm trying to finish it by a deadline, etc. My studio is a mess. It looks like a bomb went off because what happens is while I'm painting, I'm not taking the time to put stuff away. I'm keeping the paints where I can reach
Yeah.
them. I'm keeping the paper towels. Everything's out. All the possible brushes, and I have a lot of them, are out so I can see them. And the place is a mess
Right.
because I have a priority. Cleaning up isn't the priority. I can clean up later. So when you need to declutter, priorities. What else are you not getting to that matters more than whether your desk is clean?
Yeah. But then what if, having your environment messed up or clutter, what if that impacts your energy and your ability to do something efficiently?
It does. So what?
So what?
If you're not as efficient as you think you should be, just try this on. Your mind is going to argue. Okay. So what? So you're not as perfect as you think you should be. You're not as together as you think you should be. You're not as clean as you think you should be. I am often not as nice as I think I should be.
So
Okay. I mean, is it the end of the world? It's when I'm painting, I get stressed a little by the clutter and the mess. I also priorities. I have to finish this thing. I need the stuff around me. This is how I work.
yeah.
Can I be allowed to be messy? Can I be allowed to be imperfect?
Yeah.
Because as you are obligated to be perfect in every arena and to strive in every area of your life, A, it's exhausting, and B, it's hopeless. It can't be done. You can't do it all. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Um, so if I have a choice between cleaning up and doing homework, and even though I'm stressed by the not cleaning, or it's not efficient, or it's not ideal in whatever way, priorities. That'll wait. It'll still be there later. Homework or a deadline won't wait.
Right. Okay, what would be then your number one tip for the people who, they have homework and they know that's their top priority because it's going to be due, but they choose to procrastinate and put it off and they do other things instead.
Here's the thing about I've worked with a lot of people about deadlines
Yeah.
of various kinds, creative people and writers and business people, et cetera, et cetera. Worked with a lot of this. A lot of procrastinators, a lot of unmotivated people, a lot of people too depressed to get out of bed, et cetera. First of all, I would just say for some of your people, procrastination is fear. For some of the people who are listening who may never have put that together, seeing that you're afraid can be interesting. It can be helpful just to see homework. I'm afraid I don't know how. I see this with people with taxes who put them off and off and off. One woman I had worked with years ago, she hadn't done her taxes in 5 years. Like you're just waiting for the knock at the door with
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of thing. Comes and sitting around going, okay, taxes are terrifying, which I realize you don't have to deal with yet, but at some point
No,
you will. They're scary. Nobody knows how to do them. They're so complicated. They're scary. And the consequences are, people are afraid. And so what happens is that the fear translates as, I'll just watch TV now.
escape.
Yeah, just avoidance because it's scary. So if you have listeners who are avoiding homework, there's pretty likely some fear involved. Whether they don't know how to do it or they don't think they're going to be any good at it or they don't know the answers. Math homework, if you gave me math homework today, I'd be procrastinating too. So one thing I would say for everybody is to try a different phrase. And I want to come back to this. I'm writing the word deadline so I don't forget it again. Nobody chooses to procrastinate. What happens is that they can't make themselves do it. That isn't a choice. That happens to them. Nobody sits and says, I am going to sit here for 5 years and not do my taxes on purpose.
Yeah.
I am not going to do my homework and wait till the last minute. And I'm doing that on purpose. Nobody says that. So just to see that procrastination is not a choice, it happens to you. Nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you break through the fear?
Okay. Well, so let me come back to that in a minute
For sure.
and just hang on, break through the fear. Okay.
Yeah, your responses are just so juicy. I don't know and everything.
Most things, as many things that happen in our lives at this point, more and more have deadlines. There's a due date. Papers are due, taxes are due, paintings are due, report for a job is due, interview is due, etc. Most things that we love to do, for instance, maybe we like doing tennis tournaments or something like that. We don't need any push for that unless we're scared of losing, in which case it's going to be hard to get out of bed. Most things have deadlines. Humans, I realize this is going to sound outrageous, work best at the last minute. There's a cartoon that I won't be able to find in time, a chart. It's like a line chart with deadline is at the end and whatever the beginning of the project is here. Video games, movies, social media, blah, 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 eating Cheetos, blah, blah, blah. 2 seconds before the end of the line,
Yeah.
work like a lunatic. What happens in the last minute is that adrenaline is set off and whatever other chemicals in the body, we get creative. Everybody tells us, teachers tell us from the time we're really little, start early, give yourself lots of time. You do better work when you have plenty of time. Actually, you don't.
Yeah.
You do better work when you're frantic and the chemicals and things are flowing and oh my God, it doesn't feel good. It's not fun. Nobody likes it. But the work is actually better than if you have all the time in the world to go back and clean it up and retouch it and make it perfect. It gets very suffocated. It gets very stilted. It gets very overdone. You can see this in painting. Like the more time I have before a deadline, if I'm actually early, it's all very careful. But if I am pressed for time, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
So
I totally see it.
of all the things to pressure yourself about, if you don't start till the last minute, it's not the end of the world. Is it fun? No, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Okay. And there's so much hate around it too, though.
Oh my God. And you'll hear it. Every teacher you ever have will tell you to start early. They all say it. Every boss you ever will have will say it,
Yeah.
but it's not correct.
Right. So then
So
is it
go ahead.
good to procrastinate? until the last minute.
It can be. I'm not saying again, try it. It's sort of like making your self stay in bed. At some point, your
Yeah.
feet are going to swing over the edge and you're going to stand up. I mean, you can try. And for you and your listeners, you can try it on things that you're not too terrified of screwing up. Like if you're convinced that if you wait till the last minute, it'll just be god awful. Don't try it on something that's important in that case, but try it on something like creative or a test that isn't important.
Yeah.
Or I'm not saying don't study. I'm saying wait till the last minute and watch
Yeah.
what happens. It is not fun. I just want to repeat that because it's not like a good time. Those chemicals in the body, they don't feel good. Anxiety, oh my God, am I going to do it in time? And is it going to be okay? And am I messing up? Like you're worked up. That's
Yeah.
what those chemicals in the body do. So it's not fun, but it can produce some great work,
Yeah.
especially in creative areas. Go ahead.
Does that connect to the idea that you have to have the right amount of stress? Like if you have too much, it's bad, but if you have nothing at all, it's also bad, but you have a little bit.
It's not, it's related to that. And
Okay.
certainly performers, artists who perform, dancers, singers, musicians, etc.,
Yeah.
people who get out on a stage fright, many of them talk about this, is a plus for them. They want to go out there a certain amount of scared to death.
Yeah.
A certain amount. The people who are really incapacitated by that kind of fear don't perform. They don't actually go on the stage. So
That.
they are the ones who have given in to fear.
Mm-hmm.
The fear has overwhelmed them. They are too afraid that they're going to mess up. Or I have a client who's a professional musician. She's a violinist. And the fear that gets worked up before every concert. And she's convinced she's the only one. And oh my God. And then she gets up there and it's going to make, she's a violinist. So it's going to make my bow jump. You know, it's like every concert.
Yeah.
But she gets out there. People who are really incapacitated by that fear do not get out there. They don't get on the stage.
Yeah.
So how do you break through the fear? So glad I wrote that down.
Beautiful transition.
Offer, I mean, there's a lot to be said in answer to that. So in the interest of time, I would just offer something a little different. Maybe once in a while, instead of breaking through fear, expect it and let it be there. It's just fear. It's just a feeling. It's not the end of the world. We are, as a species, let me say nuts instead of what I was going to say. We are nuts about emotions. We
Yeah.
think they're the end of we think they're terrible. It's just fear.
Yeah.
Do you like it? No. Can you handle it? Yes. So I would say, you know, in the interests of our conversation now, in the interests of time, instead of trying to force yourself to break through fear, because it's very difficult to do, and it actually increases fear because you don't know how, be afraid.
Be afraid.
It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
These bodies are made to feel. There's nothing there you can't handle.
Right. It's natural, and it's if you just watch it, it'll run its course.
Yes, yes. I mean, at the beginning of our conversation, I said to you that as I've gotten older, I'm experiencing anxiety more often than I used to when I was young. I never really experienced it much. But I know that it's just a feeling. I know there's no actual cause. I don't know what's happening, but I know I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right? The sky isn't falling, the ceiling isn't falling, the house is not on fire. I'm standing there. So I was washing the dishes one day and I was like, "Oh, this is anxiety." So I thought, 9 minutes. What can't I handle for 9 stinking minutes?
Wow. Yeah. That's an amazing thing. I'm gonna try that. Next time I feel anxious or sad, I'm gonna time it. See how long it lasts. Wow.
What you will find probably happens is that you notice the time, you decide to time it. And as you feel better, you stop noticing and you forget to come back and see when it ended. It's sort of like when you have a headache and you take an ibuprofen or something. You don't notice when the headache leaves. It just leaves very quietly.
Mm.
And sometime later, you look back and go, oh, good, the headache's gone, but you didn't notice when it left. It will be like that for the most part, but I was doing this on purpose, and I was like, let's find out.
Yeah.
9 whole minutes. I mean, oh my God, I'm anxious.
Yeah. 9 minutes later, all good. Wow. Well, thank you so, so much. I love that new hack. Okay, I have one last question. I know you have to go soon too. So I'm doing this like legacy chain of questions. So this is a question from the last guest, Esther Howard. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
So, how do you optimize your human performance?
Again, I will answer in a way that probably you're not getting elsewhere. To be human is to be imperfect. To be human is to be variable, unexpected, not ideal. I would optimize my human performance by being okay with mediocre.
Yeah.
Because why not? Am I not allowed to be average?
Yeah.
To look average, to age averagely, to dance averagely, to paint averagely. Must I be Miss Perfect? Geez, I'm exhausted just saying it.
Right.
So I would consider that optimized.
Yeah.
To be allowed to be ordinary, it's so liberating. Seriously.
Yeah, it just feels like you let go of all the expectations and
Let me live my life, man.
yeah.
Don't make me have to be perfect. I can't do it. It's scary just thinking about it. I don't know
Yeah.
how to do that.
Yeah. And it's draining to our energy too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is not optimal.
Not optimal. No, exactly. Being optimized is not optimal because if you have to be
Right.
optimized, then you're draining all the energy in order to be. So,
Right. So I'm saying that what would be optimal in terms of human
yeah.
is to
Yep.
be good with ordinary.
Yeah.
What a relief.
Yeah.
So when I'm painting, am I going to be Picasso? Am I going to be Van Gogh? Am I going to be in the museum at any time? This
No.
is never going to happen. I'm just an average Joe in a little suburb somewhere who enjoys slapping paint on things.
Yeah.
Isn't that good enough?
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Miss Judy. And
You are so welcome. So
yeah.
fun.
I know, and you like just reminding everyone that we're perfect being imperfect, not optimized,
Exactly.
not
Ex- Exactly.
succeeding and being amazing. Like, however you are right now, that's exactly how you're supposed to be, and it's perfect
Right.
and it's gonna work out great in 9 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you again for being on the Listening Bee.
Thank you for having me. You have a good day.
You too.